Let me know in my screen. Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Just a little
Yeah.
pixel terms, but
Yeah, 1 second. That is like, I think it's the internet.
ready.
Ready. Okay. So basically, we are gonna to analyze Mahmoud, like the A/B testing. So the performance is basically to compare the pay ads versus like the other properties without ads, right? So let me see. Let me know if you in some moment you can see my screen because I don't know, like I think it's my internet. So basically, the goal is determine if pay media, if pay meta ads generate a significant increase in inquirers volume versus not promote listing, right? So we have all of the data that we are going to show you here, Mahmoud, is coming from like the dashboard that Showdix created for us. That is this dashboard. So we can have here all of the inquirers, all of the data, all of the information through like a different kind of source, like zero, etc.
Hi, Murat.
Hey, everyone.
Hey Mo, I'm gonna. Okay, so basically have like that information. Everything is like coming from the Showdic dashboard. So we have 1,095 leads. This is the base original, and we clean a little bit the data because we find that we have like a different duplicate user inquiries, and also we have a lot of empty contact, right? So I don't know, it's because it's not mandatory to complete like the information in like the onboarding or something like that, but the conclusion is basically we have 1,095 leads, but with the data, like the cleaning, all of the data we have 1,027 leads, like a 6% of difference.
I don't know if we listened good to Laura and
Yeah,
listen
Laura,
good
it's
to
cutting
her.
out the audio.
Can you hear me?
Yes, that might be better.
Sorry, it was my internet. Can you share?
Yes, I can share.
Okay. Okay, so basically, like what? Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes,
We can hear you.
now
Okay.
hear you.
Perfect. So we have all of the data. We clean all of the data. So we have 1,027 leads. So can you go to the next one, please, Pau? So basically, we have the A/B testing. So we test two properties. So you can see Windomer and 319 Frontier unit. So we have two tests. One is to compare Windomer 102 and 104, right? So in like we can see like the result of the two properties that had advertising campaign on Meta. So you can check like the green highlight. So basically the rest show did not have advertising, and in the rest, like the rest of the info is basically no unit specific. So we can see here like the analyze between Windomer unit 102 that have 7 inquiries compared to the second that we didn't have advertising. So it's like 7 inquiries to compare to 2 inquiries, right? So basically, like the goal with this test is to show you like how is like the traction from marketing and all of the traffic that we are sending to like the properties. At this moment, 319 Frontier is rented during the test. So we have, in that case, 24 inquiries coming from like advertising compared to like the second one is like the unit A, that we just have 2 inquiries, right? So we have 22 inquiries more compared to like the other property that we didn't have advertising, right? In like the line that you read, no unit specific, it's mean like we don't have data from like the lead. So it's like a lot of white spaces in like the information. So we don't know if that lead, for example, in like the Windomer, we have 9 that we don't know if they come to like this the A or like the second one property. So this is something that we need to basically double check because the data is not completed. But the rest, we can see here like the total amount of inquiries that are coming from advertising, right? So this is something general loop. Pau, you can go to the next one. So, okay, let's analyze Windomer. So basically the orange, we can check all of the traffic that we start compared before and after we start like running like the advertising, right? So the moment that we activate the campaigns in like the week 5, the charts come to basically to show like all of the inquiries per week. Of course, we didn't have a lot of spend, so basically this is like it's not that a lot of inquiries because we didn't invest a lot of money in like the campaign, but you can compare before and after. All of this data is coming from Showdix, so it's like accurate data. So you can see here that after we run the ads, the moment that we activate the paid media campaign in week 5, the chart immediately come to life, right? So we have, after like these 7 inquiries, we have 4 that is 30% of the leads that are disqualified. I don't know that why, like we don't have like that kind of deeper info. We have 5 inquiries that it represent 41% of the chart, and we have 3 scheduled tours. So basically, we don't know why we have 41 and we didn't contact them, or I don't know what happened after that. We need to talk with like the team. But basically, we can see here that if you compare just the both sides of the properties, like the traffic of like the Windomer unit 1, that 102 have more traffic to the second one. Even like the second one, for sure, it was rented. But we can see that if you spend some money in advertising, you can basically improve like the number of inquiries per property. And like in the second one test, go to the next one, please, Pau. The frontier. So we compare unit A versus unit B. So unit A was rented for sure during the test period. However, we analyzed that the performance of unit B after the campaign launch and increase in the volume of inquiries can be observed as reflecting the weekly trend. So you can see in the chart that after we start to have like in February, in the week 2nd, we can start to see like the growth of inquiries, right? So basically, this is something like interesting because the unit A was rented, but we have 22 inquiries with ads, right? So you can check in the chart, and also from that we have 70% of them that complete a tour, and we have 45% of them that have like some inquiry, right? So we don't know what happened after the inquiry, but we know that we have that like during like the funnel. The rest we have disqualified 20% and scheduled a tour 16%. So basically, like we want to show that just with this small test that like the marketing strategy is like having some results in like the influence for the campaign, right? So you can go to the next one, please, Paul. So you can check here both tests with ads and without ads. So we have total 31 ads inquirers. So basically we multiplied 7 times more than if we didn't have advertising. You can go to the next one. And basically, like some conclusions, like basically the ads units consistently outperform control units in both tests. You can check in the charts, 3.5 more in Windomer and 12x in Frontier. Like if you compare like the inquired volume versus not promote. And basically the results suggest that pay media is driving real visibility and demand. Something important to understand is like the attribution. We have like a important percentage of like the inquiries that we don't have basically unit specific, so we don't know if like how we can attribute that kind of percentage to like advertising or no. The second one is like why we didn't have like why we didn't reach to like the inquirers. Basically, we have a big percentage of that inquirers that probably we never contact, so we don't know what happened with them. So this is something important to double check. Also validate with like the Dani, because we compare the data with Dani, and if she's having like the information through Shodix, it's a little bit like a percent of different. So just double check with her like how is like the tracking, and also for sure we are like starting like the new A/B testing with like the new like 2 properties. But this is something general, like summary about what happened with the A/B testing. We can check here like we really have like a result in like the marketing strategy campaign. I don't know if you have some questions or something. Or Pau, you want to say something?
No, it's okay for me.
Thank you for.
I think Matt is not asking. Mahmoud is here. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying thank you for sharing that. I do have some questions.
Yeah.
I think it's clear that there's definitely an impact with the ads. So I think that's kind of easy to see here based on the leads and things like that. I'm not completely on board with the exact multiple that we're using here because our data is actually not one-to-one. So on the Frontier example, you're using how many leads we got for B, but if A was rented and B wasn't rented, we're attributing all the leads there, and then we're comparing it and saying, oh, look, we got all these more leads, but I don't think that's a fair comparison because A wasn't on the market. So I think both things can be true. I think we can acknowledge like that the ads are driving leads and activity, and that's great. But when I see us not adjusting for stuff like that, to me that gives me very little or less confidence in the actual numbers that we're showing. So I think it's as you're presenting any information, and you did call it out, you did mention that it wasn't there, but then we're still using like a 7x. You know that it's not 7x, right? Like because a real comparison would have been for the days that A and B were both active, what did the leads look like then? If you show me then and it's like still a multiple higher, I'll be like, yeah, I trust that number. But I still don't really think it's that much different based on at least that example. And then the Windermere one, I don't know too much about. So I mean, it's odd to me that it was getting 0 leads for like, was it active all those weeks in that chart that you showed? Like, was it actually already on the market and not getting leads? Was there also price changes that happened at the same time? I think these help build a full picture instead of like getting to an answer. And I get that you may not have all that. That's fine. I'm glad that you're working with Danny. But I think we need to be a little bit critical on that, just to determine the actual effectiveness of it, instead of just being like, oh yeah, it's better, let's just do it. Having said all that, I'm curious for the meta, what was the meta spend for those 22 leads for Frontier Beat? Like just that one specifically, like how much did we spend on that?
Pau, can you share in Meta, like how much we spent in Frontier? We had 1 month of campaign from 12 to, yeah, that one. So we have, this is the total, right? $121. Pau,
Sorry, I speak with the microphone off. Yes, this is a total, but for this range of date, the
121.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is a month of campaign, and is also, this is too low, like too low spent, because like the advertising in the US is expensive and more for that kind of niche. So yeah, this is the total amount. This is the clicks, the result, the CPR.
Sorry.
Yeah, $5.
$5 for inquiry.
And are we able to see, like, do the clicks, is there like a ramp up period when we get an ad going, or does it kind of stay even throughout that? It's almost like a month period. Is it pretty flat? It's like that 294. Are we able to click on that and see, like, each day, how many clicks we got? Just want to see like a trend line. Is it flat? Does it ramp up? What does that look like?
You want to check like the clicks, basically like the 284, like.
Dímelo.
Like clicks by day, he's saying. Like, did it change?
If we can see like a graphic, yeah. So clicks per day.
We don't have
You have to no, go back. We'll go back, Paul. You have to unclick one. No. You're on personal. Sorry, go back in, and then on the graph.
Okay.
And then on the personalization.
Yeah.
Yeah, unclick one of the results and do the click on there. Like you can only select 3 at a time.
Dímelo.
Yeah.
You because we don't have. You want to see just the clicks, but Pau doesn't have like the ability to check just clicks. Let me see.
With results, cost per results, import, and clicks. I don't have that metric here.
Hold on, I'm trying to see what.
Wait a minute. It's a little bit in forms. If you have another question, mientras hago el informe.
She's gonna create like in a few moments, like the dashboard to double check that.
Okay, that's fine. I guess as we're checking, let's assume that it is flat. And I guess what I was getting at was, okay, assume it's flat. There's not a big ramp up period. What is the effort for our team involved in getting something active, and like how quickly can we do it? So let's say we have 5 new properties going live this week, and property management says, hey, we want to run ads for the first 7 days. Like what does the marketing team do with that information? Like, what do you guys You need to create the ad itself. How much time does that take? How much lead time do you need? And basically what I'm getting at is like, how can we automate that as much as possible so that it's almost like a click, and now the system can now see the property, whatever pictures it needs, and you guys just hit approve. But I'm sure, as always, I'm oversimplifying it a bit.
Yeah, basically, if we need, for example, to I don't know, we need to run some ads to one property. First of all, we need to have at least a month running the ads. We need to create all of the, like the videos or like the creativities. We can just use like the photos and use like a carousel or something like that. But like we really need to have good creativities to have better results for sure, because we are like basically in competence with a lot of huge market in the US doing like this something similar. So this is the first thing. The second one is like
So could you pause there for a second? When you say run it for a month, what does that mean?
that basically when you run like some ads, you have like a period that the ads is basically testing, so we have like 1 or 2 weeks that the ad is running, but it's like just getting information. If it's like new campaign, getting information about what is our target or niche, the location, etc. So in that period, it's not for like expect to have results. It's more like a way that the campaign is learning, right? We say like the learning time. After that time,
So we may need to adjust how we're thinking about it then, because on the leasing side, our goal is to rent something out in 2 weeks. So if we're sending it to test for 2 weeks, we've kind of like defeated the purpose. But I mean, you guys, between the three of you, you guys are the experts here. An idea that I would have is to say, like, our renter demographic is fairly consistent across different markets. And then we're pretty concentrated within the Dallas and Houston markets, right? So it's not like we're doing a different city, a new person. So this idea that we're like constantly having to retest, I would maybe push back on that and see if we could figure out a different solution. But like, we can even get you a list of all the addresses. We know ahead of time, right? We know months ahead of time which properties are going to be listed where.
okay.
And we know, hey, this is a majority, maybe Spanish speaking area. So let's do an ad, make sure the copy is in Spanish. Or, we can have both or whatever, right? So like, basically we need to figure out a way. If that's why I was asking the clicks question. And that's where I was making this whole assumption based off of. And so maybe if one of you guys can actually look into that and see, and just sat over after the call, like on those Windermere and the ads for the other property, Frontier, like, was there actually a ramp up? And then we can maybe test and say, okay, there's clusters of property. Let's say Houston's a good example, where there's a lot of properties that are usually in generally the same area. Can we just keep using like the same stuff that we're learning for that property?
Yeah, we can work on that. We can, yeah, totally.
Laura, esta es la gráfica de la tendencia de los clics. Acá pues lo que podemos resaltar es que están siempre sobre los 15, la mayoría. Hay unos picos más altos, unos más bajos, pero sobre 15.
Yeah, so basically this is the graphic for like the daily clicks for Frontier. So we have the average of click is 15. You can check daily, like the media is 15 leads per day, and then up or down, but this is the media.
I think Mahmoud's saying even before this, like before the ad started.
Before.
What was the ramp up? Like how long did it take for us to get to the average of? It looks like the average is about like 12. It's the center line.
Yeah, can you, Paul, go to January when we start the campaign, before the campaign, to compare?
Well, that wouldn't be in Meta technically, right? It would be in the. We wouldn't have those clicks in Meta because the campaign wasn't started.
Yeah, but exactly in Meta we don't have, but we can compare with like basically with like a Showdix that like.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because he wanna know how we increase the traffic. Basically, the traffic, it means clicks or views. So of course with Meta we are not gonna have anything because we didn't start paying, but like we show you in like the presentation before and after. So Pau, can you go to the presentation again to show Frontier how was before and after, like the traffic? So basically that one, so you can check there. So December, week 2, week 5. Okay, you can check. This is, I don't know if I can answer your question, but because we can compare Meta because we didn't have clicks before, but we can compare with Showdix that they show us like the inquiries. The main goal is like the inquiries, no, like inquiries and then completed tour and then scheduled tour or rented. So basically we can compare here. Before is like after is like the red line, so you can see February, all of the weeks in February how we increase. So I imagine because first week, second week, whatever I told you, that the campaign is left.
There's that learning phase, right?
Yeah, so it's 2 weeks, 1 to 10 days, 15 learning, and then you start to see all of the, like we can see like that we increase the inquiries, right, after like the second campaign. So this is, I don't know if I answer, but this is before and after. So we can compare before, way before 6 months before, and it's gonna be something similar because we already checked in like the dashboard that um, we didn't have all of that kind of inquiries in this property and in Windermere near.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two things here. I think if you go back to the spreadsheet,
Yeah.
um,
Go to the Excel.
so the February 13th is the first day that I see here, and that's around when the campaign started, right? The 12th or the 13th.
Yeah.
And these are clicks from Meta, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, I think, okay, one more question. So if I'm reading this, I see, hey, by the first day you got 11, so that's pretty solid. And then you kind of get up there, and to me this is pretty even. But my question is, for this campaign specifically, what adjustments did you guys make, or were you like, hey, it's performing as expected, and you just kind of let it run?
Like basically what is what analyzed with this result?
Yeah. So like, for example, when you say it,
did you change advertising? Did you change targeting?
For sure. Yeah, like all of the segmentation, like the targeting, for sure. We have
No, Laura, I think he's asking like during the campaign, not before. During the campaign, were there adjustments being made?
Yeah, exactly. I was answering that the adjustment basically was like we check weekly, like what is like the clicks, what is like the cost per conversion, what is like how is the performance. We have some days that during the weekend can be higher or low. Like we of course double check like the segmentation in like around like the properties. I don't know, Pau, if you want to share like how was the segmentation in the campaign deeper. Like si nos quieres decir como qué ajustes hiciste durante la campaña que te hizo pues como mejorarla, o cómo se segmentó, en qué locación, qué personas.
Sí, pues mira, lo que se hizo con esta campaña fue una configuración inicial en la cual se tiene en cuenta en el caption todas esas, ¿cómo se dice? Perdón, se me olvida, como todas esas cosas de valor que tiene la propiedad que pueden ser llamativas para el espectador, como cuántos baños tiene, de qué está hecho y demás. La segmentación es básicamente en un rango muy amplio porque hoy en día todo se maneja con inteligencia artificial. Entonces, la misma campaña va aprendiendo en la marcha.
Yeah, so basically like we have the adjustment that we have is basically we start like doing like a segmentation about the location with AI, because we didn't close a lot like the location, because with AI it's better to have the campaign with AI because they have better like suggestions about the campaign. Also, she's saying like we highlight all of the the information about the property, and basically after we have the good creativities, we double check almost every day. If the campaign is getting better one day or not, can be a lot of influence about like the season, about if it's weekend or during the week. Sometimes the campaign can perform one day better or not. But if you check in general, like the campaign has like a media that is 15 clicks per day, and this is basically a good result in like terms of marketing. But yes, like the adjustment is basically like that. Like the most important is creativities, good message, good highlights, good hook, etc. And then just double check every day how we can improve like the cost per lead, the cost per click, the conversion, and if of course if we are getting like inquiries, because we can check here a lot of clicks, but if we don't have inquiries, it means that we are like attracting people that they are not interested a lot to the to like the property. So basically it's in both sides, not just with the click, it's also with like the encodings that make us to understand if the campaign is running well. So always we need to compare meta with the result that is inquiries. If the people rent, if the people schedule a tour, and we have good results. So it's for that that we didn't like change the campaigns during like all of the time. And also because it's not good to start to adjust the campaign during the time, because we need to leave like the campaign learn and then start to check if they have good or not results. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, that's super helpful. I think what I would be curious to know as well is like the person that's making those changes, like specifically, we don't need to do it on this call, but that can be like a follow-up item. I'm curious to know what that segmentation looks like.
For sure.
Because our team, I mean, I have a ton of knowledge on this, but our team is going to have a lot more like in depth, like they'll be able to tell you all these things, right? And then we can start speaking your language to say, hey guys, this is, this type of audience segmentation based on, the type of area it's in. Like we know all this stuff, right? Instead of you guys arriving at the same answer independently, which is great. But that way we can start knowing too. And then if there's a property that doesn't fit that, we'll say, hey guys, by the way, this one is very different from the properties we usually do. It's luxury, it's high end, it's in a different city, whatever. And then you'll know that, yeah, it's going to take us a little bit more time. We have to learn a new audience and try to ramp it up that way. So, I mean, to kind of summarize, I'm in my car in the garage, but to summarize, I think the spend that we did there, it's about like 120 or so for roughly a month. I think that's really good based on kind of the leads that we were getting. Yeah, Frontier B is still on the market, but I don't think Frontier B is a great. Bryan, Texas is like, it's not Dallas or Houston, so it's a different market. I don't think it's very representative of what we're doing. And then separately, Danny and Jordan, I think I asked him, I messaged you, I think we spoke Laura last week or week before. It seemed like they hadn't sent anything. I saw Danny maybe tagged you in something for properties that they're not live yet. They may be live now, but they're about to go on the market. So I think once we build like there will always be a property in Houston in roughly the same neighborhood that is on market. So that's like an audience or if that's the right word, an audience that we can save or whatever, right? Like a template that we'll use. Oh yeah, this is one of those 3-bedroom, 2-bath, $1,500 a month homes. Okay, got it. It'll fit this box. And that should, in theory, translate over. Because I think that's when I was following along too, I was like, oh, 319 got listed. And then I think I saw Paula's update was like, hey, we're going to run it for 30 full days. I didn't say anything, but in my mind, I'm like, this doesn't work, right? Because leasing is hopefully done by then, right? Hopefully in 30 days, there is no data to go off of. I get and appreciate how it works on the marketing side. But that's where I think we need to like meet in the middle and come up with like a different strategy for that. And then I think also when it comes to now creating these copies and ads and things like that, I think a lot of that can be potentially automated if we're not already. We should definitely do that, because in an ideal world, like the marketing team shouldn't even have to deal with that side as much as possible. It should be more like the tweaking, looking at the data and seeing, hey, okay, what can we do here? What can we do here? Because they're all pretty much the same, right? The properties aren't like super different. Now there may be things that perform well, right? Like you guys may know, hey, a iPhone type video this way versus pictures this way perform way better.
Yeah.
Or like if there's a person in there, like, oh, that gets way more, like that's the type of information that we want to know. We have some assumptions, right? We know that if there's a person in there, if they're talking, maybe they're going to do a little bit better. I've seen some of the guys, I don't know if you guys have seen them, some of the construction interns in Houston on LinkedIn. They've been posting like videos and stuff like that. So they've been looking pretty good. So I think if you can start sharing some of that guidance and best practice, and even like if someone sends you back something, be like, hey guys, this is not going to, like, that's what I would love to hear from the marketing team, being like, this is not good, shoot the video again, right? Because then instead of just relying on, oh, this is what property management sent us, so this is what we have to use, like I want you guys to hold them accountable as well, so that they're giving you good stuff that's going to allow the campaign to succeed.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Cool.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, so good. I don't have any other questions, but I think we have this set up as a bi-weekly meeting. If we don't meet about this specifically, we can meet about something. But maybe I think bi-weekly for now would be good, just to check back in. And let me know if you're getting delays from property management for some reason. Like it should take a day for someone to send you properties. And if it's taking longer than a day, please let me know, because we need to work on that.
We are having good videos, like both for organic videos for the team. So we have at least 2 good videos, like tours, like they talking in front of the camera, going to the house, the properties, etc. So that one is good because we didn't have that. So we are having at least 2 videos per week, 1 to 2 videos per week. So that is good. And the other thing that I want to ask you is basically, Daniel shared with me 2 properties to test again, like the new A/B testing, because one, like they have exactly the same, similar location, similar like I don't know, benefit, etc., etc. So I don't know if we want to try that, or we want to basically to check, because how like our time is a little bit longer than your time in like the like the rented world. So I don't know if we can. You want that we start again like the A/B testing with some properties that we are gonna have on market in 1 month or something like that, and we can start to promote from now and repeat the A/B testing again just to double check, or something like that. Or what is your concern about like that?
Yeah, I mean, what do you think? Do you think I think I shared all my comments in terms of what I feel went well and maybe not as much. But do you feel confident based on the data that we have here to, like, do you think we need to continue A/B testing, or are you viewing this as a successful campaign and now let's start advertising all the properties?
I think we can start with like no A/B testing, just to start with some properties that you are gonna have in 1 month in the market. So we know that in 1 month we need to rent 3 properties, so we can start to run some ads and in 1 month to check if we have good result in inquiries, in rented, etc., etc. Because we already know that if we spend money in ads, we are gonna have inquiries, because we can see here in like the A/B testing, and also because we are sending traffic. So yeah, I think we can already start. It can be another experiment for sure, but we can start and we can have some conclusions and ideas, and we can align with the team, with Daniel or Jordan, and to double check the location, the segmentation, I don't know if the creativities are good or not. We can just improve. We take like 3-4 days to improve the creativities with the designers, and we can launch.
Yeah. Okay. You're the expert, so if you're good with that, then I'll defer to you. I think we can revisit the A/B testing, but maybe down the road. And let's say we're getting a ton of leads, and then we say, hey, look, what happens if we pause our meta spend for X amount of time? I know some companies will sometimes test that out and do that. I don't know how much of a difference that would. I think that would probably make a big difference for us, because we're not always selling the same product. It's always something slightly different. And then we're also hitting the peak season here as well. So we are expecting like a natural increase in leads anyways. But since the spend is relatively low, like $100 for a property, it's not bad, right? It just needs to lease up, 10% faster for a property for it to be worth it. And that's very doable. And our goal is, 50% faster. So if you look at it that way, we're actually, it's not a cost thing. We're actually increasing the amount of revenue there. Now, if that Frontier B was going to be like $800 in Meta, I was going to be like, all right, let's not do that anymore. But if it's around 100, 120, I think that's very realistic and fair for like almost a month-long campaign. So one question that I still have is when you said the properties are a month out. So the ones that Danny shared, the 2 Houston ones, are those sufficient for you, or you're saying that's too close?
We are going to start that campaign this week, so it's okay. My question for that is because she shared that properties to us like 5 days, 6 days ago. So I don't know if now is on time. It's not in the time that we need, and we need to change the properties for like another 2 ones or something like that, because you say we want like to rent the properties in like faster, right? So the time that we set up like the campaign, the time that we double check the creativities, and also we launch the campaign is gonna take at least 3 days. I don't know, 4 days. So I don't know if it's gonna work.
Okay, awesome. That sounds good then. I know we're coming up on time. I did want to say, Paula, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate that. You definitely did not have to by any means, but definitely appreciate you joining in and finishing off what you started. So hopefully your new stuff is going well. And I don't know if we'll ever meet, but thank you for everything.
No, you're welcome. I'm really appreciate your time and stay here. And I want to say thank you for the opportunity to work with you. I was so happy, and I don't know if maybe we meet in the middle of the way.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much.
And she's taking a lot of English classes, so this is like the first time that she has like a like English language work. So
yeah, good. That's great. Yeah, just keep it up. It's a function of time and effort, but thank you again. And thank you for putting this meeting together, Laura.
yeah, okay. So I'm gonna talk with Danny to double check 2 properties, new properties that can be on market in, I don't know, 3 weeks, and we are gonna start to launch some campaign in Meta. I don't know. What do you think we should spend per campaign, just to be clear on that, like per day or per month?
Yeah, I think a good benchmark is like 10% of rent per month.
10% of rent. Okay.
And generally that's going to be fine. Windermere and Frontier are relatively lower dollar properties. I think our average property rent amount is like $1,350, $1,400. So that's where I'm getting like the 140-ish, and that kind of matches up with those. So some may be higher, right? Like for the Frontier, the ratio is probably like what, almost 15%, 25%. That's okay because we know that that's a little bit lower. But if we can use that as a benchmark, if it's starting to get like significantly higher, I would like to know why, right? Maybe there's more competition, maybe there's more something, and then we can kind of discuss that.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we should start with just 1 property, or do you want we start with 2 with that?
I'd say let's start with 2, and then
I think start with 2, and that's our A/B. That's your next A/B test by default.
Yeah.
So we could see completely different markets and.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna talk with them. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Well, and then we'll meet again next time, and I want to work on also like the flow that we have here in terms of getting the information to you,
Okay.
because it already lives in a system, and I think we can take off like the reaching out and waiting for, like, we have all this data already, like it's there, but we'll just figure out exactly what you need. But no, this is good. I'm excited.
Okay, perfect, amazing. Do you want I schedule like a weekly or bi-weekly meeting to double check everything? Or
Either one is fine with me. Maybe for now we can just do weekly, just to keep the iterations a little bit tighter.
Okay.
But then we can see if we're getting sick of each other, we'll make it bi-weekly.
Okay, okay, got it. Okay, thank you so much for your
Sounds
time.
good. Thank
Happy
you. All right, bye.
Have a good day. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Lau, can you send the deck?
Sorry?
Can you send the deck?
Yeah, sure. I will. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Pau, te puedo dar. Ah,
Sí, va
ah,
en otro
ah,
meeting.
bueno.